Hello and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I am going to be filming a recipe. This is going to be another holiday recipe, so I hope you guys enjoy. I'm making a vegan stuffing and it's going to be all homemade from scratch. Really easy. Probably will take, the prep time will take about 5 to 10 minutes and the oven will do all of the work. Let's get started. So I have my pan preheating on medium-high heat, and it's been preheating for about 1 to 2 minutes. And to that I'm going to add some onion. And this is some diced up carrots and celery. I'm also going to add some salt and some pepper. And as always, I will have the measurements to everything that I'm using in the description down below so that it's easier for you to just copy the recipe or print it out, however you want to do. So I'm just going to let this saute depending on your stove. So I'm going to probably let it saute for about 5 to 8 minutes, and I will show you guys what it looks like when it's there. So my veggies have been sauteing for about 6 minutes, and this is what you're basically looking for. I also forgot to mention that I did have a tablespoon of coconut oil to begin with. You can definitely make this recipe oil-free if you'd like, but it is a holiday recipe, so I figured I would add the oil. Now at this point, you're going to add your garlic in, and you're going to let this go for 20 to 30 seconds. You do not want to burn that garlic. As soon as you start to smell it, it's basically done. At this point, I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add my herbs. I have some sage, rosemary, thyme, and parsley. And basically, the hardest part of this recipe is done. Now we can move on to the next step. So in this bowl, I have 1 baguette, and I cubed it up into chunks like this. If you like your stuffing smaller, in smaller pieces, you can chop it smaller. It's all about preferences. And you're going to add all your veggies that we just sauteed into the bread. So in here I have some vegetable stock, and again, this is all about preference. If you like your stuffing to be more on the soggy versus crispy side, add less water, but don't dump everything in. You can't take any out, but you can always add more in. So we're going to start with about half the amount first and see if we need any more after that. So I have a pre-greased pan. I just took some coconut oil and rubbed it all around the edges to make sure that nothing sticks. If you don't want to use oil again, you can just put a piece of parchment paper in the bottom, and it will be fine. Now to make this go to the next level, I'm gonna take some vegan butter. I'm just using the Earth Balance. This part again is totally optional, but very recommended for if you're making this for non-vegans or your family or something like that. Do it just so you can get the top crispy. This recipe, I've actually made it before I went vegan, when I hosted my first Thanksgiving dinner when I was 18, and this is the first time that I'm making a vegan version. And this next part is totally optional. I just had this in the fridge. This is vegan Parmesan cheese. And I'm just going to sprinkle some on top because I think the flavor will go very well with this recipe. That's it. Now you're going to place this in a preheated oven that is preheated to 375, and it's going to go in there for 20 to 30 minutes. So I just took my stuffing out of the oven. It was in there for a total of 35 minutes. I like my edges a bit more on the crispy side, so if you like yours soggy, don't leave it in there for that long. If you don't use oil or vegan butter like I did on the top, you won't get much color change. So keep an eye on it. Don't burn it. And that's it for this stuffing recipe. As you can see, it was very simple to put together. It's also a great way to use up some leftover bread that you have just laying around that went stale. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.